Hi, Stacey. While other kids your age are gravitating more towards pop music, what made you prefer jazz as your genre of choice?
I think going to school for jazz really made me like fall in love with it even more because I learned all of the history behind it, you know, and all like where it came from and who started it and like the people that made jazz, like, you know, like Ella Fitzgerald and Dizzy Gillespie and like all the great jazz artists. And I think because I love pop music as well. I'm a big fan because it's so versatile, and I think my main goal is to bring the jazz into pop music so that it can create this bigger genre that everyone can like love and appreciate.
My name is Jamie. Hi. So my question would be, who is your favorite jazz artist from like even before or interested?
I mean, Ella Fitzgerald is like my top vocalist. I think I've learned so much from, you know, just from her and the note choices she picks and just her vocal like ability. But some more like recent artists, there's this French jazz singer named Cyril Aimé, and she is so amazing. I would love to meet with her, sing with her. You know, Lianne La Havas is another amazing artist that I would love to collaborate with. And on the more like pop side, but still has a little bit of jazz influence, like, you know, like the people who use like riffs and runs, like Tori Kelly is one of my favorite artists. She's so amazing. Jasmine Sullivan,
Yes.
Yeva, like I feel like they use a lot of jazz in their pop music as well.
Okay, next question.
Fall in Love again has it's quite like a large following here in the Philippines. So what was the impression that formed in your mind when you like learned about this?
I think I was not expecting that song to, because it came out like months ago. So it came out and people were loving it and like it was good, and then all of a sudden it just started like picking up, and we didn't really know how it happened, and then we looked on TikTok, and then we saw, of course, like the trends with the sped up versions and everything. And when we went to see the countries that the streams were coming from, it was mostly Indonesia and the Philippines. Should we wait for that? Yeah. Gotta grind the beans, you know?
Excited for
Okay, so the main countries were Indonesia and the Philippines, and I think we really jumped on the opportunity to get out here as quickly as possible, because I think, you know, like what better than to come like to be face to face with people who are streaming and listening and loving the song. So it's a really amazing song for sure.
Stacey,
Yes.
I've read that one of the songs that you like to cover is Dancing Queen by ABBA. What is it about that song that resonated so much?
I mean, Dancing Queen is such like a universally loved song, and I think the lyrics, honestly, the way that I did it was like I kind of stripped it down and made it like a folkier, just very like acoustic version of the song, and I think you could really, the lyrics bring out like how beautiful they actually are, and I just think it's, you know, it's a beautiful song, and people really liked it enough to that I took it from YouTube and then put it on Spotify and Apple, and yeah, it's just a great song. And it's also, the original version is such a great like party dance song, you know, like when you hear that opening, like you just can't help but dance, right? Yes. Hi.
Can you share with us the story about how you started Open Verse Challenge and what was the feeling it was when you went viral?
Yeah. So in December of last year, Sadie Jean, who's another TikTok artist, singer-songwriter, she was doing an open verse for her song called What Are You Doing Now? And I remember like Lil Yachty duetted it, and she was getting tons of duet. I remember seeing it all over my For You page. And I was talking with my manager, and he's like, hey, have you seen that open verse challenge? And I was like, yeah, I did, and it's really cool. And he's like, what if you did something like that? And I was like, oh, well, I don't really have like a song that's ready for that, because I think Sadie Jean's song was already ready to go, ready to be released, you know, and mine, like, I had just, don't text me when you're drunk, I had just written it like the week before. So, but he's like, you know what? To quote myself, if you never try, how will we know?
Actually, my friend remixed your
Yeah.
open verse challenge.
Yeah, I think it's just I did not expect it to go viral like it did. And apparently from the numbers that we got from TikTok, it reached a third of the platform, so almost around like 300 million people, which is like crazy to think about. And then that led to me like getting signed by a major record label and then recording, writing songs, putting out music, and then like I never thought that a big viral moment like that would happen again. And I didn't expect it, because if you expect it too much and it doesn't happen, you can get disappointed. But then it did with Fall in Love Alone. So yeah.
I heard that you have a lot of other talents. So what are those other talents? You play other instruments?
So yeah, I play, so guitar and piano are my main instruments. I just started playing piano when I was like 9 years old. I had a teacher, a jazz piano teacher actually, for like 10 years. And then I started playing guitar like kind of in quarantine. And I would just sit in my basement all day and just play guitar. And like I kind of learned like from like the internet and stuff. And yeah, I try, like I'm starting to play the bass guitar now. I played the trumpet in high school, which I don't really play anymore, but I kind of want to get back into it, because like imagine how cool it would be if you're just on stage and then I just pull out a trumpet out of nowhere. It would be like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I like to try to play all the instruments. I think it's like a fun, like it's working for your brain, because all these instruments like see the notes differently, you know? And it also just has a better understanding of like, you know, like chords and music and all that. And as for like other talents, honestly, music is definitely the thing that I do pretty much 24/7 all the time. But I also like other like artsy things, like I don't like embroidery. Is that like I tried it? I'm not very good at it. But one time I tried embroidering flowers onto my jeans, and I thought that it was so much fun. So I have to get back into that. Just like arts, I'm a very artsy person.
Do you draw?
I don't on the regular, but if someone said, "Hey, would you like to paint?" I would be like, "I would love that." So yeah, I'm not saying I'm very good, but definitely artsy rather than sporty, for sure.
Nice.
Your songs like "Don't Text Me" and "Fall in Love Alone," they seem to have a recurring theme. Are you the type of person that prefers to be left alone?
Honestly, that's really funny.
That's a good one.
That's a great question. I mean, they were both written about two different people, so it was about two different situations. The first one being I didn't really want to hear from that person when they weren't sober. You know, if we would have had like a conversation where we were both not drunk, great. But he texted me when he was drunk, and I was like, you shouldn't have done that because you're saying stuff you don't mean, right? But Fall in Love Alone was about that I was too scared to tell this other guy that I liked him. And so basically, Fall in Love Alone is like what I wish I could say, you know? Because I'm like very shy to talk about my feelings. But at the end of the day, actually, we did both like each other. So it worked out well for me. But sometimes I get messages from people, like DMs on Instagram, and they're like, oh, I listened to your song and I told my crush how I feel and he doesn't like me back. And I was like, oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Were you surprised that those songs resonated a lot with Filipino fans?
I mean, I'm just surprised that they resonate. And I'm maybe not surprised, but I'm super grateful that people listen to the stuff that I created from my personal experiences and kind of like can relate to it in their own life. And then it also like, again, going back to the messages, like people are telling their crush they like them just because of the words that I wrote in my song. And I'm like, music and lyrics are just so powerful. And the fact that my music and lyrics can help someone confess their feelings to someone is like a feeling like no other, really.
So on your free time, are you the sort who like goes to like jazz bars and do open jazz, or are you more like the homebody who has like 100 songs written at home?
So I guess it depends. When I was in school in Montreal, I would go to jazz jams like every week. And I would go and hang out with all my friends because all my friends were musicians too, are musicians. But now, especially with like traveling a lot and doing a lot of work, you know, like for for upcoming projects and performances. I am the biggest homebody ever, which is difficult when you travel a lot, you know? So after getting home from this trip, I am definitely gonna just sit and watch movies for at least like a week and just like decompress. But I definitely do both. I love writing songs in my free time, like by myself, but I also love writing with other songwriters, which is like a different experience. So I'm gonna do a little bit of everything.
All right.
Some people say that you can't fall in love with someone. It's not love if they don't love you back. You believe that that's just infatuation. Like, I'm in love with this person, but it doesn't like you, so it's not love.
Oh, I definitely think you can fall in love one-sided for sure. You
It's
know,
real love.
Oh, well, actually, that's kind of a very deep question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does the other person have to love you back for it to be real love? I don't know.
For you, in your opinion.
For me, in my opinion, I think you could love someone if they don't love you back. It's just really much more sad for you when you find out that they don't.
But it's
love
like
you
a
back.
reveal and love.
I think I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Good theory.
Yeah,
Good analysis.
I need to work on that. I need to like write like a paper or something, like an essay about it, do some research. Hi.
Can you share more about the influences or approach to your song Deep End?
So for which song?
Deep End.
Oh, Deep End. Oh yeah, definitely. We kind of wanted like the Prince kind of vibe, like but a more pop approach. We also went like with Janelle Monáe, kind of like just very poppy, like short, like there's a lot of cool percussion in it, and it's very like flirty and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of like full of attitude, sort of, but like also being a just really fun pop song. So yeah, those were the influences.
I'm gonna ask you.
Hi.
When you write songs, as a songwriter, I personally write for other people. Or like when my friends tell me stories about what's going on. Or it's very seldom that I get to write about myself. Because either it takes me a long time to get over it, or it takes writing a song to get over it. In your experience, do you write songs to benefit yourself or to benefit others? That where you find yourself most comfortable?
I definitely write a lot of the songs, like when I'm dealing with something like very difficult, I really prefer to write by myself about it than like open up to another songwriter. But if you feel comfortable enough, then I would, or if I feel comfortable enough. But like for the really hard stuff, I write it by myself, and usually like writing about it makes me feel a lot better, and it helps me like get my feelings out, kind of. But when I go into like a writing session, I also really enjoy like touching on aspects of my life with the songwriter, and then us working together to like create like, you know, a story that either has to do with me or with them, or could be something completely unrelated. So I guess it really depends just on the subject matter, my mood, you know, like it's many things.
I have a question. For you personally, do you prefer the original or the stand-up version?
I definitely prefer the original. I think the original is the one where you can just hear all like the musical elements in it. But I also really, really enjoy like just how happy the sped up version sounds, and like I think it's so cool that people kind of took that initiative and like sped it up, and that we even like put it on like Spotify and Apple Music because people really wanted to listen to it that much. And I love it. I just think the original is my favorite for me.
Do you have any pop influences or any pop singers you want to collaborate with?
I mean, so many. I feel like someone from like my childhood, like Kelly Clarkson, would be such a great person.
Sorry, she's my favorite.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
she's so amazing. And like I was listening to her growing up, like she was on the
I
radio.
know, right? What's your favorite song? I'm not gonna let this go. Sorry,
Maybe
Sorry.
My Life Would Suck Without You.
Yes.
That's a really good
I like
one.
Invincible and Catch Your Breath.
Those are really, or like Because of You.
Yeah.
Those are, I mean, she's amazing.
Yes.
Definitely love to do something with her. You know, like Bruno Mars would be super cool because he also has that jazzy kind of, like he went from doing pop, super pop music, to now like with Silk Sonic doing a much jazzier approach, which I think is like really cool, and that he's super successful with it too, is like really awesome.
What about older jazz artists like Diana Krall or
Oh,
Elvis
1,000,
Costello?
1,000%. I like my favorite artist of all time is Al Jarreau, and unfortunately, like he's not with us anymore. But like, if you know the question, if you could have dinner with someone dead or alive, who would it be? It would 100% be him, because I feel like he is doing what I'm trying to do now, like put out pop music with a very like heavy jazz influence. But he was doing that in the '80s before lots of people were doing it. And I think he just did it so well, and like he was such an amazing jazz artist at the forefront, and he was just so like the way he did his improvisations and just like his music in general is my favorite artist. So yes to that. To Diana Krall would be so amazing. Billy Joel has been always one of my long time like
Piano Waits for You, yeah.
such a like.
That's my overtime song. That's my Manem Strut song.
It's such a, he's just like, that would be like a dream collaboration. There's too many to count, but those are some really good ones.
Speaking of Al Jarreau, have you ever tackled Spade?
Oh, that's one of my favorites by him. And like, that's like such a jazzy song. And I think he's the one who added the words to it. Because before it was just like instrumental. And he added like the words and then the improvisation, and he's just, I love Al.
It's one of those untouchable songs.
Totally, 100%. And like the fact that people have done that, his version time and time again, just shows how like timeless it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how was it like collaborating with Scary Puppets? And how that came about?
That actually, it's really funny because I remember obviously watching their videos and stuff, and they reached out to me actually in the summer of 2021, so last year. And they're like, hey, if ever you get out to LA, like we would love to do a collab. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is my dream come true. Like I've been watching their videos forever. But to me, to get out to LA, because I'm from Montreal, so it was like kind of hard for me. I was in school too, and you know, like a trip like that, you know, costs money and stuff. So, but I was planning a trip for my week off in October. So, because every semester we have like a week off in the middle of it. So I planned that with them. And around the same time, I started talking with my manager, and we kind of just killed two birds with one stone. I went out there, met him, did my collabs with them, and it was like such an amazing experience. And they're like, we'd love to have you back, like whenever you get back to LA. And now I've done another one with them that came out a couple months ago, American Boy, which was really awesome. And we just also recently did another session, which should be coming soon. So stay tuned. And they're just awesome. Like they're amazing musicians, really nice people. And I think it's super fun because that they have different guests every like session. So I got to play, there's this American banjo player named Bela Fleck, and he's like super, he can play anything from pop to jazz to country. And so he was in our session, and we did some really, really cool arrangements. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, maybe we can have like one more question, and then we can wrap it up. What time did you arrive here, and how you enjoyed the Philippines so far? Very
So we
I think
got in
it's-
last night at 1 a.m. So I haven't seen much. I saw on the drive over here. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
But yeah, this trip has been definitely more of like a work trip.
Yeah.
You know, like doing a lot of these interviews, press promo, performances, which is really cool. But unfortunately hasn't left me much time to like explore. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna come back to Southeast Asia like next year, probably multiple times, and I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna be like, give me time to explore
Yes,
the
the
cities
beaches.
because the beaches, like it's just, and maybe like not come during rainy season,
Yes.
so that I can like.
That's true.
I mean, I don't mind the rain, like, because I came from LA where it doesn't rain ever, so it's kind of nice to see rain again.
Yeah.
But if I would come to like go to the beaches, I would want it to not rain every day.
Hope you can try Filipino food.
We were just talking. So what should I try if I get a
Go,
chance?
guys.
Yeah, what should I try?
Recommend.
Wise.
Filipino food. What
Yeah.
do you like? Spicy, salty, savory?
I like all of it. I'm not my spice tolerance is not great because I didn't grow up eating spice, but like I can handle like okay spice. Like
You
not
sweet food?
yeah. I like everything.
Halo, adobo.
Right, yeah, I heard adobo.
Yeah. Most of the foreigners who come here like the lumpia. It's like the rolls.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of that.
Like a Shanghai roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds good. What's it called?
Lumpia.
Lumpia.
Lumpia. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And sinigang, it's soup with meat and fish, tamarind soup.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And
Tamarind
roasted
soup.
pig lechon. Roasted pig.
Roasted pig.
Yes, with sauce. It's really good.
That sounds super good. What's that
Yes.
one called?
Lechon.
Lechon.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna try to remember all that because we're going to lunch right after this. So I'm
Yes,
gonna be like,
go.
I have to be like lumpia, lechon. What was the tamarind soup?
Sinigang.
Sinigang.
Yes.
It's a tamarind soup
Tamarind
with
soup.
like pork and sometimes chicken.
That sounds so. I was just like, I love trying all the different soups
Yeah.
from places. You know, like obviously ramen is great. We tried laksa when we were in Indonesia. I know it's from Malaysia,
That's kind of
but
spicy. I love that.
it's a little bit spicy. But see, I can handle like a little bit.
Yeah, that's
It's
spicy.
just-
But it's really good. I love that.
And honestly, the spicy food over here, like this, it's a different kind of spice. It's not
Oh.
like a spice that is just there to like make your mouth be on fire. It's like a
It's
spice that
purpose.
adds to the
Yeah, yeah.
dish, and that's why it's not like. That's why I feel like I can handle it better
Yes.
than like other stuff. I
You'll
don't know.
enjoy the food.
Oh, I'm super excited. We're not here for long, but I'm gonna try as much as I can.
And most of the reporters will also ask you because we love to promote our food.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think the food, like, because the food here is like, you know, stuff I've never tried before
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was always in, you know, Canada, the US, and I feel like coming here, you have to try the food because it's like, it's just so delicious.
Yes.
So, I've been enjoying eating all the food for sure.
Yes.